He's the one that you'll be living with in eternity forever. He wants you to do the right things. Because you and I will look at somebody and say, boy, that's a fine man. Fine a man as ever walked in shoe leather. And could have been the most wicked, evil heart of anybody you could ever see. They just knew how to keep it in. See, God sees all through the stuff. He knows what's in the heart. That's why he chose David out of all the other boys of Jesse. The prophet was looking on the outside, God was looking on the inside. Right? So it's in the heart. Matter of fact, Jesus said, you don't actually have to touch a woman to commit adultery. If you do it in your heart, you're guilty. Same thing with murder or any other sin. If you think it on it, chewing on it, you're guilty of it. You know. But here's the thing, nobody can't see that. Nobody can't see that. What's in the heart. As long as you keep it in the heart and not exercise upon it fleshly. And then shall every man have praise of God. So hopefully the heart is right. Hopefully we're living for him. Hopefully we're serving him. But God's going to be glorified either way. God's going to be glorified. And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes. So he's taken these things that he's trying to teach that people are seeming to have a problem with, and the two figures that seem to be prominent in this area are Paul and Apollos. And they've already got the hang up of, well, I follow Paul and I follow Apollos. Well, if the blind lead the blind, they all go in the ditch, right? You better be following Jesus. It's all about Jesus. It ain't about the man behind the pulpit. It's about the one who died on the cross. Okay? So we need to understand that. For your sakes, that you might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that not one of you be puffed up one against another. Right? Not one against another. So you shouldn't think that you're better or more than somebody else, right? For in Romans chapter 12, verse 3 says, for I say, through the grace given unto me to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly. Be real. Be real with yourself, right? According as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. So, you know, when you're brushing your teeth or getting them out of the jar, whichever way the mirror's in there, look in the mirror and you say, you know, that's the real picture that you're looking at it, and size yourself up, and, you know, we're just sinners saved by grace. We just old lumps of clay. We just in the potter's hand. And he's making us, he's still working on me, he's still working on you, right? But it's that humble obedience. What we have problem is people lift themselves up. And all the teachings of God are against that. If you exalt yourself, he says, you'll be abased. I'm going to knock you down. I'm going to knock you down. And, you know, to be honest with you, if you're struggling with that, it's a good thing if the Lord knocked you down. And you say, you know what? I want all that. And I didn't get here by myself. He's the one who helped me. He's the one who led me. He's the one who directs me. And he's the one I owe everything to. And it's that humbleness before the Lord. That's where we need to be. And so there were people in the church lifting themselves up. And I know you've seen that in church. That's one of the best places that it shows up. They got to be first on the list. They got to have their name on it. You know, when I was a boy growing up, I always walked in and you saw the church on the end of the pew, the names of the people on the end of the pews. And they did it in memoriam for the people who had passed, I guess. But a lot of times, people took that a little further. Well, my daddy's so-and-so, my mama's so-and-so. And of course, all of us are proud of the fact of who they are and what they may have done or contributed. But if we go into the